all right. How you feeling, baby?
I'm good,
Feeling good?
man. Yeah, man. Can't complain.
Okay,
I
all right.
can, but nobody would care.
Well, you can't complain, but apparently there's an Omar Kelly clause over there at camp. So,
Listen, such is life. Uh, it's all entertainment to me. I've been in the locker room for 15 years. You know how that is. Where guys, if you're in the locker room, and I haven't been in the locker room for years because of COVID. So I miss the locker
uh-huh.
room. That's one of the things I do
Right.
miss. And they joke with you, they tease you, and they make you the butt of the joke sometimes, and that's just part of the nature of it. So
Okay.
I
All
wouldn't
right.
I wouldn't do it any other way.
Okay. So I saw that you weren't impressed with Mike White's arm. And I'm going, well, wait a minute. He's not impressed with Mike White's arm, or was it the 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 62% completion percentage, and 75 QB rating? What was it? I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm just telling you what I saw, and that doesn't necessarily. And keep in mind, I'm generally a Mike White fan. He is a man crush alum for me in terms of a young player that I wanted the Dolphins to draft. I believe Western Kentucky. Yeah, Western Kentucky wanted to
Mhm.
draft many moons ago when he was coming out in the process. Not early rounds, not starting quarterback, but later rounds. So I'm not surprised that his arm is not like
Right, but
that.
I just trip out that people make him more than what he is. Why? Because it's all this Miami thing. And it's like, bro, he's not. He's a
What
nice player, maybe a nice backup for you,
what
but I
Miami
don't know.
thing? I'm
Like
missing what?
he's from Pembroke Pines.
Okay, yeah, he went
It's
to
but
university school.
but that's why there's this extra juice for him around. It's kind of like the Dalvin Cook thing. Like they could see people signing running backs left and right and drafting a running back, and just because Dalvin Cook's from Miami, that's it. They've got to have him here. They've got to trade him. It's this Miami thing. And by the way, I've also realized this. We get this more from our local Dolphin fans.
Because they're Miami products, you think?
Yeah, yeah, there's this extra love affair for any free agent,
Oh,
anybody that might be available, anybody you sign. Teddy
mm,
Bridgewater, last year there was this, oh, he's coming, he's going to take to his job, this, that. And it's like, bro, did you watch Teddy Bridgewater? Like, do you see him? How
I
can
don't know
you
if anybody said
say
he was
that?
going to take to his job. I don't know
Well,
about all
no,
that.
I didn't say, no, I'm not saying you. I'm
No,
saying,
no, no, not definitely not me.
well,
And I like Teddy.
I got plenty of people doing that, but my point is there's
Hmm.
this always this extra juice for anybody that's tied to Miami one way or another, and it comes from the heart and soul of it comes from our Dolphin fan base that's local. The Dolphin fan base that's outside of South Florida or maybe even outside of Florida, anywhere in the world, they have a less disconnect and they're
Ooh, ooh,
objective about kind of
you hitting the hornet's nest right there because I
Oh, wait a minute. What happened there? Why did we lose him?
I'm still here. I'm
Oh, there.
still here.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I said you were hitting you're hitting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we got you.
I said you're hitting the hornet's nest because I have said and stand by this as somebody who's covered the team for 15 years and travels on a regular basis. The out of town Dolphin fan is much stronger. Fan base is much stronger, much more loyal, much more educated than the in town Dolphin fan.
Well, the in-town
And
Dolphin fan is too emotional. Way too emotional, bro. Wow, they overreact on a whole bunch of shit. Yes, I would agree with that.
I don't know if they're too emotional, but
Oh, yeah.
they're
Well, about Miami things, about Miami
I
people.
think they take it for granted. I don't know about the Miami thing or Miami people because I,
That's what I feel.
I'm not sure this team. I mean, not sure people can name anybody else from South Florida that's on the roster. Not even Jalen Phillips because Jalen Phillips is from South Florida. Getting back to the Mike White thing, if we're talking about, and you know how it is out there at OTAs and practice, you're trying to figure out what you think, what you see, what you
Yeah,
observe, and
yeah.
me and Poop talked about. on the podcast. Did you hear that?
Yeah. You and Poop talked about that on the podcast.
Me and Poop talked about this on the podcast that's being put up today. I was in my mind, I was sitting a row in front of him. Barry was like behind us. We were sitting in a triangle, paying attention, talking through practice. And I was thinking to myself, Poop is going to have to talk me out of writing what I wrote about Mike White. And then I didn't say it out loud. And then Poop says to me, Omar, you're going to have to talk me out of writing something bad about Mike White. And I was like, well, damn. And I said, I was thinking the exact same thing to you because it's the first look-see of practice. You don't want to like rip a guy or bring up the ultra negative. I didn't talk about Channing Tindall looks like he has no clue what the hell he's doing again for year 2.
He did. He looked out lost. Wow.
Lost.
Well, it is a new system too now. So,
bro, jam. So every time you give this guy a new system, he's gonna look lost.
Well, he's only second year in second system.
Hey, listen, I'm not.
It's tough enough for a rookie to learn shit. Now you got to learn it all over again. It's like I got to give him a little bit of a break there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now,
bro, if there was a position begging for somebody to step up, it's that one. And
not only that. Here's where I don't give him as much of a break like I did last year. You had a year of NFL football. You had a year of watching other people. You had a year of getting your body right, your mind right, all that. So, okay, I get it's a new system, but you already kind of know what the NFL is like, bro. Time to grow up, okay?
And you come from you come from a premier program.
Yeah. Listen, your kid graduates from college, right? Now they go job hunting. Okay, first year, maybe you have a job or two. Bro, let's go. You graduated. Let's go. Life hits you.
You just want them to get something, anything?
Get your goddamn job. Let's go. Work every day. Pay your bills. Learn how to be a productive citizen in this world. Let's go. And to me, that's what.
What about my dream of starting my own business, Dad?
Yeah, well, there you go.
So I want to be
I expect Channing Tindall to, brother, let's go. We don't have time. Let's go.
But getting back to the Mike White, the point was, I thought Poop was going to talk me out of writing something about the arm. Then Poop is like, I need you to talk me out of writing something about the arm. And I said, damn, well, if both of us are sitting here thinking the same thing without even communicating, like it has to be written. I'll be the bad guy because everybody got to play their role. Some guys are bad cop, some guys good cop. I know I'm the bad cop. Like, let me just do what I do. Don't intentionally mean to be the bad cop, but I know the role that I play in your movie, Dolphin fans. So, it was. I'm not even going to lie. It was disappointing. It was really disappointing. And Skylar Thompson should not have a far superior arm to you.
Well, he does have a good arm. Skylar does have a nice arm, bro.
It's okay. It's all right.
Well, I'm not telling you it's a cannon.
Yeah, it's good enough. It's good enough. Yeah, and mind you,
good enough for the NFL. More than good enough.
Yeah. This coach does not need a cannon. Does not need nor want a cannon. He wants accuracy. He wants a smart QB. So Mike White fits the bill.
But I got to tell you something. You saw it last year in that mid-range throw. Skylar put some mustard on it. Okay? On the mid-range throws, I'm not talking about deep throws or whatever. I'm not going to compare it to.
I know he's a 7th-round pick, but I expected him to play a lot better than he did last year when he got his opportunity. And I understand he shouldn't have been on the field because, it is. But Skylar was very impressive.
Did he look more comfortable yesterday?
I've seen him practice better. Okay. My expectation of you got to understand when I left and stopped watching the team, Skylar was playing really well.
Yeah, in the preseason.
Yeah. In the practices and in the preseason, and then we get to the games and it's and I understand that
there's no longer vanilla coverage anymore.
Yeah, I understand things. They put up little sprinkles and some
playing against the second and third and fourth and fifth stringers. Yeah. You're now playing against the top boys, and it's a whole different ballgame. And he's got that. that's an adjustment for him. That's part
But
of the growing process. So
yeah,
I don't.
but I
I,
looked at Skyler as a player where, okay, we don't need Teddy Bridgewater next year. Skyler's gonna be that dude, and he wasn't. And they went and got Mike White. And now what I'm telling you is, I don't think it's a lock that Mike White's better than Skyler at this point. Like,
I
I
never
wouldn't,
thought. I never thought that at any point. I
I
just
wouldn't.
told you the guy's thrown 8 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. How is he anything great so far? I've watched him. It's just this Miami thing, dude. He's all right, and maybe he has a chance to be a decent backup. But I
Yes,
don't look at Mike White as a starter, dude. I mean, not yet.
like
At least he hasn't done enough to even convince me he's anywhere near a starter. Again, it's this love affair because he's from Pembroke Pines. It's just that's why we get bombarded by people.
I barely even remember he's from university school. But
Yeah,
hey, I want him to do well. I want him to.
Crowder school didn't Crowder?
Yes,
Yeah.
Crowder,
Okay. Did
yeah.
he coach that kid?
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, he was there right before Crowder got there. Okay.
I don't think
Because he
Crowder's been
coached
there
the
that long.
receiver. He
Huh?
coached the receiver. He coached the receiver that just got drafted.
Did he? Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. The receiver that just got drafted.
But Crowder coached defense, so I don't know. He ain't taking credit for coaching the receiver.
I know, but he was around the kid there. What is it? Zay Jones, right? Is the kid's name?
Zay Jones went to university school.
Is it Zay Jones, the kid that got drafted this year? Yeah. He went to university school.
Oh,
And by
okay.
the way, how do you know he didn't
Zay
play for
Flowers. You mean Zay Flowers?
Flowers? Zay Flowers. That's it. Zay
Yeah, Zay
Jones
Flowers.
is the other guy. Is the
Yeah,
guy who ran naked through the hotel and through a
I
glass
didn't
window.
know Zay Flowers went to university. I don't pay attention. I know he was a local
But by
kid.
the way, how do you know he didn't play for Crowder? Because in high school, a lot of these guys are two-way players, like your super studs. Obviously, so maybe he played a little corner too for Crowder. I have no idea. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I do know he played on this that the school that Crowder.
Yeah, I think Crowder started coaching there probably 4 or 5 years ago. So
Yeah,
yeah, Mike White's been in the NFL 5 years now. So
yeah.
he had a college career that started at USF and then Western Kentucky and But listen, it is what it is. My conclusion and synopsis of this whole Mike White diatribe is I don't think it's a lock that he's better than Skylar Thompson. So
Makes sense. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. I never thought he was. I just thought it was good competition for Skyler, is the way I
Mhm.
looked at it, and that's what I'm looking forward to is that competition. Austin Jackson, credit to him because nothing's gone his way. He hasn't played well. Then he had the brutal injuries last year that kind of sidelined him. Before he even started his pro career, his final year in college was kind of marred because he had to
Give his
give
signal, give his bone marrow to
bone
his
marrow
sister
to his sister,
to
and
save his sister's life. Yep.
right, and then he wasn't able to practice, didn't have kind of and he got through that season, and then you watch him, and his attitude has been exceptional. Last year he had a great attitude going into camp, and he was starting to make some progress, and then this year he comes out again, great attitude, working on his body. I admire the fight because we could talk about Noah and there's really nothing there. We could talk about others that, like Preston Williams would make up shit for why his situation is his situation.
Mm,
I admire Austin Jackson. Never pointed fingers, never blamed
mm,
anybody, never made excuses, and he
mm-hmm.
has stayed positive and has worked his ass off. I hope it pays off for him, but I
Yeah.
have to give him the props for the professionalism that he has shown throughout all this adversity for him.
Okay.
Props.
Yep.
So I'm saying, I don't know what player he's going to be, but at least the man has given himself an opportunity to succeed. That's all I can say about
Um, what I loved about the situation in the interview, is that he's got a tremendous amount of awareness to his
him. Yeah.
position. He knows that the Dolphin fan base despises him. He knows Every meet, he literally we showed up to talk to him. He literally called us all out by name, first and last, and giving you the awareness like, I know who you are. I know what you've been saying. He says, I read. I read a lot. He knows everything that everybody has said about him. He's taken names and he says he's angry, excited. And I always love contract years, pay for play kind of seasons, play for pay kind of seasons, you know, just like Christian Wilkins. And I want to point this out. Christian Wilkins, he might probably be a little tipped at me because I said I personally wouldn't pay him $15
Yeah, I
million
know you're
a
out of your
season.
mind, but that's a whole different ballgame.
Bro, are we really paying defensive tackles $20 million a year? Is that what we're doing?
That's where the market's going. What do you want
We're
to
sitting
do?
here. We're sitting here crying and complaining that
The
Ogba.
guy's a hell of a player, Omar.
He is a hell of a player. I never said he wasn't. But we're sitting here crying and complaining
You
that Ogba.
remember, we on one of those Christian Wilkins conversations, you did not realize how good he was.
As a rookie, I didn't think he had that great of a season.
Well, I get that. But last year, you didn't realize how big.
No, I didn't. I didn't know he was like 3 tackles from 100, which is ridiculous. Like yes, I admit I didn't study
more tackles last year than Raekwon Davis has in his entire career.
That's not the point. They don't do the same thing. That's not fair.
It doesn't matter.
And I don't like to
You
shout
got to do a little more if you're Raekwon Davis. By the way, you got to average more than half a sack a year, bro. Let's go.
Wow, damn. Raekwon Davis's job is not to get sacks, though. I mean, not that
what does he do?
Okay, hold on. Here's my thing. Here's my point. And I wrote about this today in sort of an observation piece. We're sitting here, the Dolphin fan base is sitting here crying and complaining for Christian Wilkins. Oh, he needs a new deal. Man's making $10.7 million this year. Yeah. And here he is, Raekwon Davis, Zach Sealer, both in the exact same spot, making $1.4 million this year.
Yeah. Except Zach Sealer makes a hell of a lot of plays.
Yeah,
the other guy doesn't, bro. That's, come on.
Listen, I think you're holding him to the standard of what he looks like he's a D nose tackle, bro. You act like he's on the field on third downs. He's not.
I look at him like, bro, you're a big mofo. You should be blowing some shit up. You should be disrupting shit all the time. You should be moving earth. And I don't see you moving earth. And by the way, if he does it this year, then we have a dilemma.
Oh, you have a dilemma no matter what.
Well, I know, but no, you have it exactly. You're 1,000% right. We have a dilemma no matter what, because if he kicks ass this year and plays like he never has, now you have to decide: am I giving a contract to a guy that's just played for a contract, or am I giving a guy? Is this guy a con artist, or did he finally mature? And
or did he play in a scheme that fits him better? Because I look at Raekwon Davis, and I've had somebody say this to me. I can't remember who it was, but he was a defensive line coach or a defensive player or a defensive lineman. He said to me that Raekwon is too big and too tall to be playing the nose, to be playing the zero, because how are you going to get underneath somebody at 6'7"?
Yeah.
I've heard this. Now
that makes sense.
You put him as a 4-3 defensive tackle, and his job is just to blow up the guard. Maybe he could do that, or shoot the gap. Maybe he could do that. I don't know. But we have these disappoint. His job is to take up 2 blockers. Last year they were like the 4th best run defense in the NFL. I think he did his job. I mean, I've had the conversation with him at some point when I was being critical of him, I'm sure. And he basically said, I judge myself based on how well we do against a run. That's all I could do, because I don't play passing downs.
Right.
So
I know.
Where we are against the run is how well I do. And I think that was the season he came back from like a knee injury, and they drastically got better with him.
Actually, he hasn't been bad.
Yeah,
but he just hasn't been special. He hasn't been second round. Okay,
but do we need everybody to be special?
What was it? A punt play or the kick? Was it a field goal? Was it a punt or whatever that towards the end of the season that he just blew that shit up, and it was a key play in the game, and it
Yeah.
was like one of those like, yo, Raekwon, that's what we need to see from you every once in a while, bro. Not once every 2 months,
I
and that's
mean,
the problem, that there has to be a little bit more from him from that position. There has to be a couple more of those tackles for
yeah.
losses. There
Uh,
has to be something where he just, and that was a special teams play that he did that when he blew that shit up. That wasn't even on a regular down. That was on a special teams down. And so
I,
to me,
I
that's
I
what
would
it needs
line
to
him up against the center. I would line him up against the center and say, destroy this guy every
destroy.
day.
Yes, 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 yes. And that's what I'm hoping for, because we just don't see it from him on a consistent basis. And it's not like the ability is not there. The ability is there, bro. You see, bro, you're big, you're strong, you're athletic, you can move. You're talented, man. Just a little bit more from him. I get it. We're not going to get 10 sacks from his ass. That's not who he is. But he needs to blow some stuff up. Cam Fleming, I thought money was the issue while he was still hanging around. He ends up getting a deal that could be worth up to $4 million. Isaiah Wynn, younger, maybe
Mhm.
considered more upside than the 30-year-old Fleming.
A little bit
Two
more
two
versatility.
point three, yeah, more versatility. He's going to play guard too. 2.3 to 2.7 million. Your
Hmm.
thoughts on passing up on Fleming and going with Isaiah Wynn for less money, and maybe they think it's more upside. Your thoughts on that decision overall?
The fact that Butch Barry, I can't remember his name. Is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
Butch?
you got it right. You got it
But
right.
yeah, the fact that Butch Barry coached him in Denver and was not like, oh, we got to have this guy. Um, if or maybe he didn't want to play for Butch Barry again because there is some issue with Denver coaches. I believe you were
No,
one
Barry
of the
doesn't have a good. He doesn't have a good rep. I get it. I got it.
yeah. I'm hearing a lot about that. I
No
don't
problem.
know. I don't know him from. I couldn't spot him in a lineup, and the offensive line works so far from us that I can never hear them or see them. Really, to be honest, you know where they work. They work in the furthest corner from us, so
Right.
it's hard to really see them. But yeah, I haven't heard good things.
Oh,
Um,
well, here's a recap from one person. He's an idiot. He got fired mid-season for incompetence. The players hated him, openly laughed at him, and called him a joke. When Hackett was fired, the first thing the interim head coach Jerry Rosburg did was fire him, and the players applauded it when it was announced in the team meeting.
mhm. I've heard, and I'm not even fishing it out. I've heard a lot of things about how people don't like his coaching style. I don't know what his coaching style is. So I have no and I have always operated with everybody gets a fresh start from the time you get here. And so, but this keeps coming up, and I'm just like, this is something I got to pay attention to. But he has worked under Mike McDaniels. He has been mentored by an offensive line coach that we had here, the creator of the Unicorns, who shall remain nameless for snorting white powdery substances. So you know, if you could fix it, however you fix it, I don't care. You know, just get it done. And who's to say that some of these guys can't use or benefit from a little bit of abuse? Uh,
Yeah, no, yeah, I've got no problem. Listen, if McDaniel brought him over, there must be something he likes, something that he knows he does, something.
Yeah.
Maybe, and by the way, just like a player, sometimes the coach is put in the wrong role. And maybe
Hmm.
his role is more designing offenses and all that. Maybe his role is not communicating with linemen or people sometimes. You just never know what the hell is going on behind the scenes at times and what each person's role is and those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? To me, like Joe Philbin might have been a pretty good like designer of plays or lines or whatever. And that's what but once he had to cross over to then,
Coach
uh,
people.
right, actually
R-
deal with
r-
human beings.
yeah, deal with human beings, relate to them.
It was like, you heard some of the stories like I did. That guy was going into the personnel office every couple of days, like, I can't coach this guy. I can't coach. And it got to the point where the personnel department turned to him and said, Joe, you can't do this. You have to deal with some of these people. We cannot just trade people just because you don't want them. And
We
it
do
was
it all
just
the time around here.
that was a thing that with that front office and with the coach, that was like, it got to a point where it was just ridiculous. And unfortunately, that's the way it is, bro. You're gonna have all kinds of personalities in there. And if you don't know how to manage it, that's the beauty of Mike McDaniel, that he absorbs who you are, and he'll keep absorbing, and then he'll go, okay, I gotta attack this guy this way. And then he'll kill you with kindness or humor or love or inspiration or whatever. Find something, rap, music, whatever. He'll find
Fashion.
something to connect with
And,
you, because that's who he is, bro. Philbin could not do that, and I don't know if this guy Butch Berry has that issue,
yeah,
because
I'm not sure Brian Flores could do that either. But yeah.
they didn't do well at UM either, by the way. So,
Yeah, I heard that. I like to keep things a blank slate, but I've counted coaches and it's been 7 in the last, I think 5 years or something like that. I'm like, this is while we want to sit here and take shots at Chris Greer because he can't build an offensive line. Let's not pretend like there hasn't been an absolute turnstile of coaches coming in and out of here like the
right.
last couple of years.
Yeah.
That's contributed to it as well. And even Austin Jackson addressed this, and I know he wasn't intentionally addressing this, but he's had a different offensive line coach every single year he's been here.
Yeah.
Like, think about how many different techniques and approaches and styles that comes with. Like, are you serious?
No, do it this way. No, do it this way. And then the next
yeah. No, do it this way. And he's had 3 different positions, 5 different offensive line coaches. I think he hasn't had 5. He's had 4. This is his 4th. But like, this is come on. You got to create some stability, some sort of consistency, some sort of continuity, and then see what happens from that. And this offensive line hasn't had any of that.
What do you got going on SI so folks can check you out, my friend?
As I said, I just posted something about my other observations. Navarro Bowman being there, practice, basically working with, coaching up the linebacker. What could this mean for them? Linebacker is a unit that probably sits atop my list of concerns at the present moment. They're all tiny, bro. They're tiny.
And I know. I read it. And by the way, Bowman is the kind of guy that looked like he would have the coaching in his future. He looks like that kind of. So he's probably starting his coaching. Ladder. The process is probably what he's doing now. Mm-hmm. Him and Fangio have that history. Yeah, come on down. I'll teach you a couple things. Get you going and all that. So I'm not surprised a guy like Navarro Bowman is headed into coaching. That's
and just different things and observations that you pick up when your first time and opportunity to see the team. Small things like, Eric Saubert is bigger than Durham Smythe, which is a surprise to me. I didn't really, you think of Durham Smythe inline guy, you think of like, oh, he's going to be the biggest guy, and then here comes Eric Saubert, and I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's kind of bigger. Just little observations like that.
How about getting Higgy with it? Anything with Higgins?
Higgins, I saw him make a couple. I was paying more attention to the routes that they were asking those tight ends to do and use, and how they were using them. I'm sure he caught a pass here or there. I just didn't really stand out to me. They have safety issues as well, and I understand that was a day where not everybody was there or not everybody was working, and Brandon Jones is working on the side, but I'm not comfortable with where they are from at linebacker, at safety, and then also I would throw a D. If I had to add, I'm looking at this roster and I would add 3 veterans to this team, and there would be a defensive end, a linebacker, inside linebacker, and a safety added to this team right now. Now, hopefully some young guy steps up and says, yeah, I'm ready to fill that void, like Aubrey Miller. But right now, hey, you better cover yourself, because one injury, you're not very good at those positions.
I'm with you there. All right, follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly, and catch his work there at Sports Illustrated, and also catch their podcasts. Him and Poop also do a little podcast going back and forth there. Always, thank you, my friend. We will catch up next week. Appreciate it.
Right. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir. And call my guy Sean Williams at Essential Moving Experts, 305-602-8369. Moving anywhere in the country, across the state, from state to state, inside the county, moving your business, your home. They do it all. If you need movers you can trust, EssentialMovingExperts.com, proud sponsors of our show. Huge Dolphins fans, by the way. That's why the business is in Dolphins colors. 386-213-4054. That's 386-213-4054.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.